All right, everybody, how's it going? This is Rambler's Corner Podcast, episode 3, Saturday, March 21st. That lovely music you heard to begin with was Neco with Clouds. Great guy, DJ out of Vienna, very talented guy. Kindly gave us the permission to use that song for you guys. So you should check him out, soundcloud.com/Neco Music, Neco. And also, you might notice that I sound extra HD and annoying.
We sound
clear.
Yeah.
We sound clear.
We all sound extra annoying.
Check 1, 2.
That's because we are coming at you from Da Vinci College production studio in lovely downtown Halifax. Shout out to Vinny at Vinicius on Instagram. I don't want to spell it. I'll link it under the video. But shout out to him for setting all this up. Did it out of the kindness of his heart. Great fucking guy.
He's producing for us as we speak, so hopefully it should sound a little bit less shitty than usual.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right. He's got professional shit in there.
Yeah.
So what's going on this week? Let's get into it.
Well, in recent news, not really. It's March 10th.
A while ago.
Not quite breaking. Still interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Quite a few articles were written anyway. We're taking this from the Business Insider, but I don't know if anybody heard about this, but Ireland accidentally legalized ecstasy, ketamine, and crystal meth for a day.
I heard about this, but I don't know. Like I saw like tweets that are like, in Ireland, fucking this drug are legal for 2 days. Why?
I didn't hear about it, but the thing that's really blowing my mind is just that you're using the word accidentally. Like I'm wondering how
accidentally.
I'm wondering how they accidentally legalized.
Like
what
some
was
guy.
it, ecstasy?
Some guy just went
ecstasy, ecstasy, ketamine, and crystal meth amongst actually 100 other drugs.
100 drugs.
Yeah, heroin, cocaine, and cannabis were not affected. So they were.
But they accidentally legalized meth, so they still haven't legalized weed there, but they did legalize meth.
This is progress, okay? We're getting there.
Didn't they used to? What was the drug they used to give over the counter for like cough? For like cough medicine. It was heroin,
was
wasn't
cough
it?
medicine, I think.
Yeah, heroin. I know they still give it to people who are dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give
Okay,
it
so
to
no doubt. Why not?
Anyway, let's get back to the.
How did they accidentally?
Okay, so it says that Ireland's 1977 Misuse of Drugs Act was found unconstitutional by the Irish Court of Appeal on Tuesday morning, meaning that the drugs were prohibited in it are legal.
Okay, so what I'm getting there is like, so they had laws against all these things, like they had laws against meth and all that. And then when they deemed the thing unconstitutional, they didn't realize that they had no other laws against it, so it was just legal.
Yeah.
And you said this, how long was this like going on for? How long was this legal?
It happened for 1 day.
Jesus Christ.
1 day. Because they got right on that.
I wonder if anyone...
People are getting real fucked up right now. We gotta make a new law.
I wonder if anyone was actually like affected. Like I wonder if anyone was just like doing meth and they were like, no. Like I saw on the news, it's legal right now.
You know, some asshole like walked in front of a cop and did a line and was like, What are you gonna do, bitch?
That's right.
That's
true.
It's like the movie The Purge, but way more.
I mean, I'm sure average rave life just went on as usual.
Well, raves never cared to begin with.
Yeah.
The crystal meth is the one that really fucked
crystal
me.
meth.
It's like
cops busting
those
up
boys are on the
parties
streets.
like,
Those homeless people are on the streets smoking their meth, and they're just like,
just
one little bit of comfort, just that extra comfort.
They're tripping so fucking hard they don't even realize the next day that it's illegal now.
It's like for that one day, cops came in and were like, hey, there's underage meth in here.
I'm sure like when weed gets legalized, because you know that's happening like in a bunch of places in the States. It's like 6 states or whatever. I'm sure like the day that weed's legalized, so many people like in front of the police department smoking a joint, like, ugh, suck it, like look how cool I look. But it's like, at that point I don't think anybody gives a fuck, right?
No.
I feel you. That's fucked though. That it can just by some weird loophole they can just like, oh yeah, I'm so okay. Just by some weird loophole they can like accidentally just be like, all right, you know all that bad shit we have laws against. Never mind. Like what if fucking some law about something that actually matters,
like murder.
Like, yeah, and they're like people can murder for a day. It'd be like The Purge.
Yep, The Purge.
That's fucked up.
When I watch The Purge, all I think about is why are all these people like trying to kill each other? Why is no one trying to rob a bank? Because it's like
I'm sure they did, but I feel like for the sake of a thriller movie, it's just kind of like let's do that.
Yeah, they don't want to follow people stealing money when it's legal.
When The Purge 1 came out, and it was basically just a family in their house.
Yeah.
And there were like people.
Well, everybody hated The Purge 1 because they teased it as something different than what
it wasn't the movie that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And that was the tagline for the second one, the movie you wanted the first time.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It just takes place on the streets. They owned it, man. They owned their flaw.
That was their tagline. They were like, yeah, the first one sucked, but this one not so much.
It's because the first one had an amazing concept. It's like a concept that like everybody was obsessed with for a while. But they just put it in such a boring place. They put it in a house, right?
Yeah.
they turned it into a typical like
with like a rich family and like a suburban.
Yeah, they turned it into a typical like break-in movie kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like You're Next or whatever that movie was.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely like that movie spawned out of like two guys super fucking stoned conversation. Like, what would you do?
What would you do, man?
Hey, I know.
What would you do if you had the click remote, man? Just for one day.
I would break into a suburban family's house and kill them. No.
I'm gonna be honest with you for a second. Like I'm gonna be very real. Fuck Click. Click was that movie messed me up.
Most of Adam Sandler is really
good.
Did you know that?
I didn't dislike Click completely. Like it was all right, but what I disliked about Click is how it advertised itself as a comedy, and it was nothing even close to that.
It was kind of a sad movie.
I'm pretty sure I like.
Dad and shit at the end.
I was young when I saw Click. Like not that young, obviously, but I remember. I'm pretty sure I cried at the end, and I was just straight up. Like, how did they fucking lie to me, putting Adam Sandler in this movie?
Did you know? Kate Beckinsale as well.
Oh.
Did you know that there is a Goosebumps short novel called Click?
Is
it's
it
a short story in a compilation?
Is it straight up like?
It's called Click. It's about a young boy who finds a package on his front doorstep.
Oh no.
Picks it up, opens it up. It's a Click remote. It's a remote that stops time. You can fast forward, rewind.
What came first?
It's Click.
Goosebumps.
Yeah. They just didn't have Bed Bath & Beyond back then.
Yeah, he goes to school and he like pauses like bullies and shit. But like the same shit happens.
I loved Goosebumps. I was like a big Goosebumps.
The things that he fast forwards through, like it just starts to fast forward automatically. Stuff. So it's pretty much the exact same concept. I don't know if Adam Sandler like got the rights to it or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that close. You have to wonder, right?
Yeah.
Just like quick note about Goosebumps, they're having a poll online right now. Just about Goosebumps, right? Like it's
a movie too.
Yeah, Goosebumps has like this big renaissance coming, but they're having a poll to figure out what
the Goosebumps renaissance. This will be this period in history.
Yeah. They're having a poll to find out what the best Goosebumps book is. So like they're having like one-on-ones, and then like
Night of the Living Dummy.
It's like do you think Night of the Living Dummy?
Fuck
Last I checked,
Haunted Mask was
really good. But what I was appalled by, I don't even think it made it past the first round. But it was my favorite Goosebumps book. Do you guys remember I Live in Your Basement?
Of course.
Yeah.
Was that the one about the fucking the guy who had like the garden and they all like the plants came to like
No. I Live in Your Basement was like
it was like don't go down to the basement or something.
Yeah. I Live in Your Basement was like this really like surreal, like amazing Goosebumps, and it's getting no love. I don't know. I always thought it was like really widely loved. I guess it isn't. Night of the Living Dummy, I think, is in like first right now.
For anybody who doesn't know what Goosebumps is just like the introduction. It's like the kids' version of horror movie. Like nothing bad actually happens, but it's kind of creepy.
There's always a happy ending where
they always have like twists, and it's like I don't know. They were just really nice books when you were kids.
Ryan Gosling was in it once or twice.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's talk about Ryan Gosling again. Crazy Stupid Love, incredible movie.
Incredible movie.
This every topic we have turns into a big random like a really obscure reference about something that no one knows what we're talking about.
Hey man, everybody knows Ryan Gosling.
Fair play, Goosebumps.
That's a very Jordan move right there, though. Knowing that Ryan Gosling was in Goosebumps, I had no idea. I think I like laughed along and I was like, yeah, but like I have no idea.
He knows more about movies and Goosebumps than I do. Let's just give him that one. What else is happening?
Yeah, what else is happening?
Just like a little throwback to the first episode. It's like really big in the news right now. I don't know if you guys have been reading. The Mars One like entire program is getting like completely shit on. Essentially,
we won't talk about it long.
Yeah, we'll cut this one short.
We're gonna go brief, but this had to be mentioned because this is fucking mind blowing. Everybody's been talking about this forever. Joe, get at it.
The Mars One thing, just like to brief you guys on it. It's just like a commercial space flight thing. Essentially, they said, yo, like in 25 years, we're going to start a colony on Mars or whatever. We're getting people to sign up for it. It's going to be cool. It's been revealed recently by insiders, specifically one guy. I don't know if his name's outed. I assumed it was. But he was a contestant in the Mars One thing. He was a finalist. And he pretty much just said, like, everything they've done and said is bullshit. Like, there's a bunch of really weird facts. Like, one thing is they claim that they had 200,000 entrants to the program, but there were only, like, 2,700 and something. They're pretty much, like, just favoring the people who are bringing in the most money. They're encouraging people to do donations. It's just a big scam, essentially, is how it all turned out.
What a good hook, though. Like,
oh, it's genius.
To get everybody excited about, we're going to start a new planet on Mars. Like, that has to, like, you know what I mean? That just sounds like a viral video.
Oh,
that's
definitely.
A fucking hoax.
No, I think it's a genius business scheme that they made all the money, but honestly, like...
But you're upset.
Yeah, I'm pissed about it, because, like, I'm really into all that stuff. I'm really into space. I'm really into, like... commercial space flight becoming a future. Like, I want to live in a future where I can go on a vacation to the moon and just live on the moon for a bit.
I wanted to make an over-under on how quick they die.
Yeah,
so
really.
I mean, I wanted to start a pool.
Yeah.
I was really into that.
But, like, the whole thing to me is just commercial space flight, something that people have been excited about for a long time, and I think Mars One for a while really, like, got a lot of, like, mainstream attention for it. And now it's just like it's been revealed it's a hoax. It's pissing a lot of people off. I think it's really stupid.
You're right.
I don't
Neil
know.
deGrasse Tyson made a good point, and he had an interview, and he was basically saying that like commercial spaceflight is like impossible. Like if you don't have the government involvement, it's probably not going to happen. But they do have room to like let's say they could bring like materials to the space station, and then they could pay. The government could pay them for it. You know what I mean? Like that would be
See, I think it has a future, but not soon. Like Mars One, I think they predicted it would be like 2025 or something like that is when they would be able to depart. I honestly think that's very impossible.
Well, it's probably not going to happen now. You're probably right. It's probably a big scam, and that totally makes sense. But yeah, fucking.
It's just sad. It's always sad when like stuff goes to shit. You know what I mean? Like stuff you're excited about. Like there's a movie coming out and you think it's gonna be incredible, and then like you watch all the trailers and shit, and then you see it and it sucks.
When they were gonna make Peter Jackson was gonna make a Halo movie back in the day.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, they were gonna make it. They canceled it and shit. I don't know.
Oh, I've heard so many stories about that where like video game movies are being made, and like it gets canceled at the last minute.
You must sound like such nerds all the time.
I don't know, man. Science is my religion.
Yeah, you don't have to be nerdy. Science is interesting as fuck, and if you don't agree,
I think science is becoming like a lot more of like a mainstream interest too. Like it's shocking how often you just see like viral videos and articles and stuff online that are like really popular, and it's just like straight up science shit. It's like, yo, like this guy created a spine in a petri dish. Like, look how cool this shit is.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'll shorten it when I say this, but Richard Dawkins made it pretty clear for me when he said that this is obviously paraphrased.
Yeah.
He basically said that for some people, the idea of God and God creating everything is a beautiful thing. I find beauty in the way a tree works.
Yeah.
Or in the way science works in general.
the way an eyeball works, just something simple.
That's something I have faith in, you know what I mean? Like,
I have so much respect for guys like that, like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Richard Dawkins is amazing.
Yeah,
man.
Stephen
You fucking
Hawking.
listen-
The idea of Stephen Hawking, like I know he's getting a lot of like mainstream attention right now because of the theory of everything and all that, but
that man is a legend. Okay?
just like thinking about him.
I saw that movie, man. Not a great movie, but an amazing story.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I have a lot, like he's an interesting person just because like I'm not like trying to offend him or anything because like I respect him a lot as an individual, but he's almost like a movie character. Like the idea of like this incredibly like smart, amazing man who like can barely speak and is bound to a wheelchair. It's like it's almost too like.
Do you know how he interacts with his computer?
No.
It's like cheek twitches.
It's a
isn't
cheek
it?
twitch.
Yeah.
When he twitches the one muscle he has left,
What?
and the amount of times it twitches is how he gets his words.
I remember
into the
he did
computer.
an interview with John Oliver, and John Oliver's just like making jokes and like saying dumb shit, and he makes a point where he's like I don't want to do the voice, that's disrespectful, but he's like, do you know how like difficult it is for me to talk right now? Like you're wasting my time. Like full. I'm sure that was set up, but I never thought about like how he actually communicates because you don't see him moving.
No.
But he speaks perfect sentences.
Yep.
That guy is a fucking master. I could never learn to fucking talk with my cheek.
It's just really interesting to me that he exists. It's like he's such an incredible
It is.
man.
It's like something out of a sci-fi novel.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's something that someone would write. It's like the smartest man in the world, but he's confined to a wheelchair.
Oh,
It
man.
talks with his cheek.
Yeah.
Man,
Do you know what the theory of everything was? Like what he means by that when he says that?
no.
Basically, his dream, and it still is, he's still trying to find it, but he's looking for one simple formula that explains everything.
That's what every physicist has been doing since like Galileo's
insane.
time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is seriously insane.
Well, it's the idea of it is like it's an abstract concept, but that's when you start delving into like metaphysics. You know, when science like stops concerning itself with science and starts concerning itself with like not reality, but like conceptual reality. I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah. Regardless, it's a pretty
It's
amazing
incredible.
concept.
Yeah, it's,
Technology,
I mean,
man.
When I get all philosophical, it's pretty much just like,
yo, man.
how do you think they did this or something?
Yeah.
But I want to know. I mean, I want to know just like how everything works.
To be-
One
People
formula, that'd
have
be so amazing.
an urge, just like an urge to like they have to explain things. If they can't explain something, like if there's no answer for something, they can't Google it. Then it's just like people are uncomfortable with that, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's where a lot of like religion and stuff comes from because people need an answer
An
to things.
explanation,
But
yeah.
sometimes, like to the point where we are now, although we have crazy technology and we're super advanced, we can never answer all the questions we want to answer.
we're super advanced, and like I completely agree with that. That like we're at where we are right now, we're an incredibly like advanced civilization. But there are still so many things that blow my mind. Where it's like, why are we still doing that shit? Like we're super advanced, but for-profit prisons still exist. And like, man, how do you guys feel about the dentist? Like,
The dentist.
No, by the way, for-profit prisons, it's bad. There's rape and stuff.
I know.
How do you feel about toothaches?
Well, it's just recently I was at the dentist and he was like taking the plaque off my teeth or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just going at it with those like metal utensils and shit, and it like felt disgusting and like my mouth was all bloody and shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like we are so close to having self-driving cars, and dentists still have to just take like a metal hook and scrape around your teeth. I was like, this is bullshit.
And they're always
That's
like,
true.
oh, you don't floss enough. Man, how about if you don't stab me with that metal hook?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I floss, that wouldn't happen.
I don't know. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, I probably don't floss enough, man, but like you don't have to rub it in while I'm on your chair.
You dick. I get it. You're a dentist. Lay off me, all right?
You went
Yeah.
to school for a while.
I don't know.
Technology is seriously insane. Like,
I always feel like there's some things that are so not advanced though. Like there are some amazing things, and there are other things I'm like, why is that still a thing?
Well, what about even that thing that you sent us at work the other day when the VR demo?
Oh, that was
reality
incredible.
demo?
That was awesome.
Anyone who
Did I
has
send
an Android phone can do this. Yeah, you sent it.
okay, yeah.
Anyone
I know what you
who
mean.
has an Android phone, search up on Google VR demo couch.
it's coach
And it's-
surfing, I think.
Yeah, couch surfing. It should be one of the first
You
videos.
have to look at it with YouTube or Google Chrome, or it won't
Yeah.
work. But yeah, it's essentially a video, but you move your phone around and you can, as if it was a camera or something, and you can see different perspectives of this video.
It's really cool. It's really smooth. I guess it uses like the accelerometer in your phone. It's very, very cool.
So fuck, man. Like technology is insane, man. 3D printing.
Oh,
Like
that's
they
great.
can
3D printing
They're
scary.
3D printing prosthetic limbs
Yeah.
now.
3D printing scares
They
me.
can 3D print food. Like I was reading an article in Germany in old people's homes. They can 3D print food because it's easier for like elderly people to digest. Not only that, they're making guns that are untraceable. You can just make your own gun. I mean, it's
3D
still, like,
printed guns are the scariest fucking thing ever because you can Google
We're
on.
not condoning 3D printed guns.
Yeah.
Don't 3D print a gun.
You can literally go on like the Pirate Bay if it was still up.
Yeah.
And just look up like 3D printed
R.I.P.
gun.
Pirate Bay.
Yeah, I'm stuck on kick-ass torrents right now. I don't like it as much. I don't condone illegal downloads either. I always email the person a check. But anyway, you can go on like the Pirate Bay or like kick-ass torrents or whatever and just look up like 3D print gun schematic, and you can just have a gun and then just print it out.
Don't do it. As we're talking, we get swatted and the FBI person.
Oh, any
But
second now.
don't do that. Like 3D printed guns are not a good idea.
They have a 3D printer on the International Space Station, and if a part like
They
breaks,
can print like a wrench or
yeah,
something.
they 3D printed a wrench. That was like the first thing they did because they just needed a wrench and they didn't have one, so they 3D printed it.
Man,
It's
Joe
incredible.
Rogan makes the best point, and he had a stand up a few years ago. And
Talking about Joe Rogan on our podcast, isn't that a little bit like?
no,
Powerful.
Joe Rogan's great.
RCP.
Joe Rogan though, like he had a good point. He was like, if I leave you in the woods, how long until you can send me an email?
I've seen that.
That is
If I leave
such-
you in the woods with a hatchet, how long before
Yeah.
you can send me an
Like
email?
that is obviously he's trying to be funny and it is hilarious, but that
It's
makes
so
you
true.
think about shit. Like how far we've come. Like a couple hundred years ago, we were still like handwriting things and like
Yeah.
we had no medicine. Like they thought smoking cigarettes was good for you, and now like they can reproduce. They can like stem cell research and all this shit. It's crazy, man.
You can 3D print a skull. Someone had it was the top half of their skull had to be replaced, and they 3D printed it and just popped it in there, and it's like.
They can 3D print like ears and stuff with genetic
It's a-
materials
I
it's
that
think
your
there's
body
like there's like
accepts.
3 in Halifax right now.
Yeah, I went to one of the 3D
Yeah, my
printers.
friend's dad does 3D printing.
Okay.
You can buy one for like $1,500 or something. I
Yeah.
know a guy who has one. He just prints he print whatever. You
I
want.
went to one of the 3D printers. It's at the library, and I was just like, I wish I had some dope schematics on me right now. Like, I wish I had some files for like a cool statue or something, just like a nice little figure, so I could 3D print it.
Print out Nintendo 64
I think-
and GoldenEye. Or
I
something.
think 3D printing's really cool, but there are some parts that I don't like because it's like you see a picture of like a cool Iron Man mask on the internet, and you're like, that's awesome. Like, I wish I could own that, and it's like it's kind of this like nice feeling of like this cool shit in the world.
Yep.
But when
And it's not at your
exactly, it's not there.
at your reach.
Yeah, it's like something to dream for. But
if you can make it yourself, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Anything is obtainable.
when
You can
3D
just print
printers become so common that it's like, oh man, like I really like Mario, I'm gonna print a Mario statue and put it on my desk. I think it's gonna be weird. I think it's gonna be kind of strange.
Speaking of Iron Man and 3D printers, did you see that video of Tony Stark
Thank
giving
you.
giving
That was
that
amazing.
that
That was-
kid?
yeah,
he was
that
a
was
kid with
awesome.
the underdeveloped arm. He gave him a 3D printed Iron Man prosthetic limb. And
That-
it was fully functional. He could pick
Huge
things up
respect.
and everything.
Huge respect
Just
to any
with his muscle,
celebrity
he just,
who
like,
does that.
Yeah.
Like move his fingers. Man, that's crazy.
Any celebrity who will like visit.
He
people
pretended to
who
be
are down
Tony
on the-
Stark for
yeah,
it too.
he
It was really cool.
he was completely cool about it. I love when celebrities like give back like that, and they like people in need. Like anytime a celebrity who has everything takes time out of their day to do something like that, like it's huge respect for me.
I've always said, like, if I was like stupid rich for some reason, or if I was famous, like I would make it my goal to like make one person's day every day. Like I remember a story I read a while ago where Elvis, like his truck broke down on the side of the road in some rural town in like Tennessee or something, and like some guy stopped to help him, and he was like, "Oh man, this is a nice truck. Like I've always wanted a truck like this." And Elvis just like gave him the keys and was like, "Here you go.
Like there you go,
It's
man.
your truck now.
I believe
Here
it.
you go."
I always think if I was like a billionaire, like a straight up like so rich I don't even have to worry about money. I always think like how often I would just go to a restaurant and leave like a $50,000 tip.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, everybody in here, I'm paying for it. Pay it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be but it's like it's funny you don't see that often. I guess it's because my buddy who I told him about my dream of just giving people like $50,000 tips, he said if you think like that you're never gonna get rich.
That's true.
He was like, if you're so eager to give other people your money, you're not gonna end up being a billionaire. And like yeah, it's a sad truth.
Moral of the story: you should be a greedy bastard. When not when you're trying to get rich, but when you are rich and you have more money than you know what to do with. Even like $100 to someone who has billions is nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's like a fucking dime to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Like,
to
maybe
other
not
people-
$50,000.
If somebody gave me $100 right now, I'd be like, "Oh my god, you're the best person ever! Like this is the fucking best thing."
That would
You know
kill
what I
me.
mean? Yeah, you
I
know what I
wouldn't
mean?
sleep for weeks.
I'd probably cry about it. It would go viral.
All hope would come back.
Yeah.
Nice rich guy gives poor podcaster an $100 bill and he cries. Yeah,
Spends it
no.
on beers.
He tears up a little.
I have a lot of respect for like some rich people who are cool with their money though. Kevin O'Leary's one in particular, just because there are so many
I
pictures.
love Kevin O'Leary,
He
man.
drives like a poor person car, and like he's still so stingy with his money, and it's like he deserves to be rich. He put the effort in, man.
Yeah, he did.
I really respect that. When you see like Warren Buffett and he just lives in like a regular guy's house, and like people that like even though they're rich, they still live like a normal person. Like they don't let it go to their head. They still live like a normal life.
I've always said I would want a small house with a lot of toys.
A lot of
Yeah,
time.
sure.
A small house with a lot of toys.
Just like an ATV and just
Yeah.
like dumb shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a hovercraft for some reason.
It would
I've al-
mainly just be like stereo systems, speakers.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have like an amazing, just like dope place to hang out. You know what I mean? Like if I was that rich, I would get like everything. I'd be like, yo, you want to jump on my bouncy castle? I've got a bouncy castle. You know?
Man, I saw an article the other day, and it was like 10 most amazing tree houses or something. And these guys
Like
made like
clickbait.
yeah, it's clickbait, but it's real.
It's still interesting.
Yeah, like clickbait, man. As much like as shitty as it is, it's still amazing. Every time you read it, it's like, oh, guy finds $100. You'll never believe what he does next. Like it's always a stupid title, but
Yeah.
it's always interesting.
It's killing journalism, but it's genius.
I'll never believe what he does next.
Yeah.
That always kills me. It's
Yeah.
like, really? I won't believe it? I've seen a lot of shit in my life.
See, and then you check though. You're like, that's such a stupid title. I better check to make sure.
I've worked in
Yeah,
customer
yeah.
service.
Yeah.
But yeah, these
a lot of
guys,
things I believe
these
in.
guys made like a 3-story treehouse with like 5 bedrooms and like different rooms and a bar and like
I believe in
gaming stations, like old N64s.
Definitely,
and shit.
definitely.
That's amazing. If I was rich, I feel like I would want to do dumb shit like that.
You know, just because every single fucking podcast we talk about what we would do if we were rich.
All three
Yeah,
of us.
why does this always happen?
I don't know. It's just an amazing topic. But just talking about rich people, March Madness is going on right now. You guys know, like, this is a little known fact, but it's kind of incredible. Warren Buffett offered a while ago, like a decent amount of time ago, he offered $1 billion to the first person who could predict the March Madness bracket perfectly every single game.
Oh, wow.
And but the odds of it are astronomically low because there are so many games played and there are so many upsets that it hasn't been won yet. And like it's still going. You can register for it every year.
$1 billion.
And like that's like $1 billion. Like that's an actual like you never need to work again in your life amount of
That's
money.
$1 billion. That's like
Correct me if
really
I'm wrong.
smart motherfuckers can work their whole
A
life and
billion's
never make
a
$1
billion's
billion.
1,000 million, right? I think it's 1,000 million.
Yeah, it's 1,000.
Yeah,
million.
which is like actually like holy shit. Like I never need to think about money ever again. It's like I want a new
Do you know
yacht.
how many
I'm getting
cars in GTA could buy with that money?
Oh my god, I was 1,000. what is it? Well, if you have $1 billion and then in GTA it's like 20 real dollars for $1 million or whatever,
Yeah.
you could have a lot of GTA money, Jordan.
That's right, man. That's right.
Like Jordan would just buy Microsoft points and just get a billion fucking
I'd have 4
unlimited money.
apartments.
Oh man, I was reading recently about kids who like take their mom's credit cards and then spend like $4,500 on Microsoft Online because those like FIFA and like NHL games.
You can buy skill points or whatever.
They have those like ultimate team things where you buy players and there are packs sold by like through the game, like packs of cards or whatever, because it's kind of like a trading card thing.
Yeah.
That are $100. That
insane.
fucking blows my mind. You can buy a pack of pixels within a game that's more expensive than the game itself.
Although I know a guy who spent like $80 on like NHL skill points. So to me, to people like that is totally believable. People will buy $100 like add-on to a game. That's where they make their money, man. Like they make a little bit off making the game, but they make all that shit in like DLC.
Well, it's so rampant these days, but that didn't used to really be a thing. I don't know. I think it's just kind of messed up that companies can charge you again for something. This is like semi-unrelated, but just like companies having things implemented in their products. It's just like an interesting thing. Do you guys follow Tesla at all, the car company? It's like
I mean, I've heard about it.
yeah,
But I don't.
it's owned by Elon Musk, the same guy who does SpaceX.
Oh, yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah,
You're
he's
Another recurring topic.
yeah, well, he's just an amazing like science dude. Guy just knows a shit ton about science. He it turns out that he said recently, like in an interview, like to the news, whatever, it was released that within 3 months, the Tesla Model S, which is like the really nice Tesla car, is going to be able to drive itself.
Wow.
And what shocked a lot of people is he said that all they need is a software update to be able to do this. So this means that the car that everybody bought was fully equipped to drive itself. Like it had like the automatic braking and all that, and he just kind of didn't tell anyone until now. And he was like, yo, like in 3 months, software update, your cars are going to be self-driving.
Yeah.
I saw
There's weird stuff about it, though.
I took a class. It was a tourism class, just like as an elective, and it was about this city in Abu Dhabi, and the whole city is like totally run like it was built as a smart city.
Oh, it's one of those like future cities.
Yeah, like all underground of the city. So like basically like a subway station in a way. Like the subway system like below ground was all like they look like little smart cars, but they don't even have like a steering wheel or whatever. You basically just sit in it. And the cars are like just drive themselves underneath the city. So there's just all these smart cars driving themselves everywhere.
Underneath the city. So they
Underneath
have
the
their
city.
own.
So there's no, you
roadways?
don't see cars unless you take like an elevator down and go in, and you have like
that's
your own
cool.
little pod. And this isn't even like a concept. Like this is actually built now. But yeah, so they go underground, and there's literally smart cars. Not smart. I say smart cars. I don't mean like the actual brand. But they sit in them, and the car just takes them there.
That'd be incredible. That'd be an incredible place to live.
What if eventually we have roadways going underneath oceans, like that one subway with that train?
Yeah, that exists.
Yeah, that,
but
like, bullet
driving,
train?
for it to be like a common thing.
Yeah,
that'd
like
be incredible.
yeah. Just go to Europe. I'm driving to Europe.
Like just where we live like
Underwater?
Eastern Canada. And
Under the ocean. You know, have you heard of that bullet train? I think it's Japanese.
I think it's Japanese.
It like goes for miles underwater.
There's a highway between. I thought there was a highway between the channel between France and England. Like you can basically drive. Like,
I wouldn't doubt that.
But where we live, we're like Eastern Canada. There's like a small island province of Prince Edward Island. Think about being able to drive there, just like under the surface of the water. That'd be incredible.
PEI, man.
It'd be scary, but
just
it'd
like
be
while we're
fucking
talking about like smart cars that drive themselves though. Although like don't don't expect to see all these like Tesla cars like cruising around without drivers in the streets because
they're $100,000
and also it's illegal. Like right now, self-driving cars aren't legal. They're not allowed to be on the road.
Of course not, yeah.
Because the government's not going to just like say yes yet. They need like extensive testing
until they prove themselves.
Well, if a kid comes in, we need to know if a kid runs out in the street.
Yeah, exactly.
That the car's not going to stop when it sees it.
And even that,
I know they have the technology now.
Yeah, they have that auto braking stuff. But the thing is,
It still worries
it's
me.
going to take a while for people to trust
But
it.
even that, like like if you have the best phone ever, that's still gonna crash sometimes.
Yep.
If you're in a car and the software just fucks up, like you could be going down the highway and all of a sudden you could start going like 300.
Yeah, and
kilometers
or it
an
just
hour,
like swerves to the right or whatever. I think.
Oh yeah, tiny little problem.
I think the
That's
Tesla
why-
self-driving Model S is legal on private property. Like I think if you own the property or if you have like permission from the person who owns the
Pretty
property.
much anything is
pretty much
legal.
anything is legal.
Any
at that point.
motorized vehicle is legal on private property. Really,
Yeah,
like a
that's true.
racetrack, you don't have to have license plates and all that. Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah,
I do think self-driving cars are gonna be interesting, but one thing that I kind of like,
it worries me.
I think
Not
about like
there
the insurance industry because that's got to be like $1 billion industry, and it's like it's a requirement at this point. But if we ever do get to the point where cars do not crash anymore, where a car crash is as rare as a plane crash,
if cars are perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the software
Yeah.
is so good that the car is gonna stop itself before it crashes into anything.
But when will that be?
That could be.
Oh, who the fuck knows?
Because there will always be
Ask
vintage.
Elon Musk.
There will always be vintage car collectors who want to drive their cars. There's always so many people who want to drive cars.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's never gonna go away.
Self-driving cars will become like a standard thing in the future, but there will always be people who drive. But I just think about like the rate of crashes is going to go down so much. The insurance industry is
Gonna take a hit.
I think they're going to have to like hire some politician to make self-driving cars illegal or something, because like that entire industry going under would really fuck up the economy.
When self-driving cars actually like start to become like a mainstream thing, yeah, there's going to be so much pushback. With any existing industry, if a new thing comes along that's better, and it's a shame. Like whenever something better comes along, there's always those people that have already been in that industry making money for so long that
they don't want to switch.
They lobby the politicians, and they make it so much harder to even like lobbyists and like people that make money make everything so much harder to like advance. Basically, you know what I mean?
Well, man, you think like all the horse salesmen were pissed when the fucking car came out?
They were.
They were like, oh man, like I'm trying to sell my horses, and there's all these motors going around. Like that's chaotic.
Yeah, they definitely were.
Yeah, there are a lot of like industry shifts right now. Where we are right now is just crazy though.
So, have you guys heard anything about head transplants being possible in the near future? Near future being like the 20s?
No, but it sounds like you have.
Yeah, it sounds like you're the expert on this topic.
I heard one or two.
Go ahead, lead us through this
I read an article,
discussion.
and this is probably bullshit because head transplants?
Yeah.
Right?
That sounds so dumb. It's like a question you'd ask your mom when you're little. Can you get a head transplant?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But my question is, when does a head transplant, like when do you become at this, like not like a non-human being? Like you're always a person.
Well, when do you no longer become you?
Yeah.
In a way?
Technically dolphins are still persons.
Well, your brain is you though.
Yeah, your brain is you, but doesn't your body play a part in who you are?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's complicated.
It definitely plays a role in identity, but I think ultimately who you are is like how you think, how your mind works, so it's your brain. But I get what you mean. Like, if you put your fucking brain, like your head, on a new body tomorrow, you'd be like, I'm not myself anymore. Like, it would fuck up your identity.
It's like that that old question, if you replaced like every part on a ship, like slowly, like, you know, like,
one part a day.
Yeah, one part a day. Is it the same ship again?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like other stuff that I've heard people talking about is the ability to create like biological immortality. And the first step, or not even like biological immortality, like a lot of it's going to be like, I don't know, like digital immortality. I don't know what the actual term is, but
mechanical and shit.
yeah, exactly. The first step of that is going to be the ability to upload our consciousness into something. But the thing is, then
Record our dreams, watch them as movies.
but
fucking sick.
if we upload our brains into something, it's like
We'd have to add color because everybody dreams in black and white.
Not everybody. Some people dream in color.
That's amazing.
It's not like that common.
But
it's
like
not
in
that rare.
more common sense.
Yeah.
I don't dream in color.
I feel like I dream in color, but you don't remember the color.
I don't think I dream in
But anyway,
color.
sorry. Back to the fucking head transplants,
Yeah.
because this has intrigued me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like
So
I
what do you
said,
mean by
I
a
haven't
head
read
transplant,
much,
like
but it's
literally cutting you off at the neck and putting you on a new body?
yeah, it's
Is that
literally
what you're talking
taking a healthy body and just taking your head and putting it to
What if you
another.
did it for like cosmetic reasons though? Because it's like
People will. That'll be the new like cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
getting a whole new body.
Fuck
It's like
plastic surgery.
yeah, why get a lot of
Want a
plastic
body?
surgery? Where are they gonna get the body?
Where are they gonna get the body? Who's gonna donate their body? Who's gonna be like, if I die young, take my body. You transplant a new head.
How
to it.
often does somebody die young and have a completely like perfect body though with nothing?
Well,
wrong?
yeah, I get
You're
what
right,
you're
you're
saying.
right.
But at the same time, it's like, let's say a bodybuilder dies by getting shot in the head. You cut your head off, and all of a sudden you're jacked. Like, fucking rich people would just, like, pay billions to have, like, a jacked body, and they don't have to do anything.
I don't know.
I mean,
man, that's weird to me.
because when we do, because if it's not a body that's donated, which would be you probably have to pay a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
a lot
For
of
a
money.
whole new body.
A whole
of
new
course.
body. You're not just getting a boob job.
That's complex. That's a complex thing.
Like at that point, if that person died, we would have to construct a new organ that caused their death.
Yeah,
You know
so
what
it's
I
like
mean?
if I died from heart failure, you would have to make me a prosthetic heart and then put the new head on.
Yeah, so it's like
3D printed.
the idea of a
3D
head
printed.
transplant wouldn't even come into play until we figure all that shit out.
Yeah,
we can't
that's-
even make a pancreas for a diabetic.
Yeah, like what failed? And
Yeah.
then you have to redo that over so the next person does it. Man, that's so
The whole idea of like us becoming immortal though, and like I was saying earlier, it's like the first step of that's going to be the ability to upload our consciousness, but it's like if I put my like who I am into a computer and then the computer continues to live as me, but it's separate from me, and like then I die, am I still alive?
This is getting so.
I know, it's fucking weird.
We are not high or on any form of narcotic.
Yeah.
Just the beers.
Just the beers.
Just the beers. What
I
are
don't
you?
know.
What are you drinking right now?
What am I drinking?
Let's
man?
go around
I'm
the
drinking
table.
a
Do the
harp
classic. Go
lager.
around the table.
What are you guys drinking? What do you got?
I'm drinking a harp from Ireland.
Shout out to St. Patty's Day.
Just a nice
St. Patty's Day, and that's spelled with D's for you Americans.
Oh, yeah.
T's not a T, bitch.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of T's going around. It's D's, just so you know. Matt, what have you
Patty's a
got?
female name,
It's true.
I'm currently on
not Patty.
Stiegel. Once again, a nice Austrian lager.
I feel like you drink Stiegel pretty often. Would you say that's true?
It's a throwback. It's a throwback to the Vienna days when I was eating fucking Turkish kebabs and getting these at food stands and shit.
Oh man.
That travels a lot.
Yeah, Matt loves Europe. Oh,
Hashtag on the road.
travel food is just amazing, right?
Travel, anything you eat when you're away just tastes better automatically. If I ate that in Halifax, I'd be like, well, this is shit and I paid $12 for it. When you're away, you're like, I'm happy to pay 26 euros for this.
The best food I've ever had is I went to the Dominican Republic once. I was on one of those like all expenses paid resorts, so all the food was free. Like,
This already sounds like bullshit. Dominican is known for like bad food.
oh no, it was incredible, man.
Right,
I would go just because it was all free. So, well, like it wasn't free, I paid earlier, but it could be 3 a.m. I could be drunk out of my mind. I could be like, I want some nachos. I would wander into a random restaurant and just like, nachos, please. Some random guy would just deliver them to me, and I would just love it.
Yeah, how weird is that? Just
Can you ask
here
for extra
go,
cheese?
don't pay.
I probably sound
you
like
get
the most
picky?
like douchebag white kid ever. You can be as picky as you want.
Matt's selling out and going to Florida.
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit.
true. Actually,
It's
that's true.
free is
You
why
gonna
I'm
stay at a
going to
resort?
Florida. No, we rented a house. How dare
Oh
you?
wow.
Renting a house.
You're gonna do some farming while you're there?
Yeah. Some
Florida affected by
In
the
touch
drought?
with the lands?
Is Florida into the drought right now?
I don't know. All I
Or
know
is
is
that
we have a
Cali?
swimming pool and a hot tub. I
Oh,
don't
so
care
you don't
about
have a
the
drought. There's no drought for you.
I'm there
then.
for a week. Fuck the drought.
Yeah.
I think it's Cali for the most part. They're always
Yeah,
concerned about
I read an article
water.
that California is going to run out of water in the next like
Yeah, it must be Cali then.
2 to 5 years. California is
I
out
heard
of
that.
water. They're done.
I guess the government's trying like really hard to cover that stuff up and like try and make it seem like not as big of a deal. And it's like, I'm no conspiracy theorist. Like I generally trust the government in a lot of aspects, and like I'm not like, oh, like Obama's a reptile and stuff. But
Reptilians.
it's true, man. it's a thing that people believe and that blows my
I know.
mind. It's
I
the same
see,
thing.
I see it all the time.
It's the same thing with like Holocaust deniers and stuff, where I'm like, seriously, dude, like you actually believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the idea of the government trying to cover up like such a big catastrophe is kind of like, it freaks me out a bit, right? Because it's like, if they're willing to do that, like what else are they willing to do? I don't know.
You can make movies in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's true.
they're just gonna like fill up some huge reservoir with like Evian bottled water, and everybody have to pay 10 times more, but they'll be like way better off.
Hey man,
They'll figure it out.
Canada's got all the water now.
That's right. Fresh water.
Yeah,
Surrounded by random lakes and oceans. And stuff.
I love lakes though. I'm a big water guy.
He's a big water guy.
A big water guy. He's got.
You got
I know,
some
okay,
flavored
wait.
water.
Look at that!
today.
Look at that swimmer's body, man.
What
I
kind
know,
of
I've seen
flavored water are you drinking?
Yeah,
man?
what flavored water are we drinking?
Yeah, we talked a
around
lot about our beer, but I'm drinking raspberry.
The story behind that is we hit up the vending machine because we like to drink a little water, you know, in case our throats get dry. And I accidentally bought us
Hey, Audrey.
nasty ass flavored water, and honestly, it's not that pleasant.
Joe, what are you drinking right now? Though we never
Oh,
came
for beer, yeah, I've been skipped again.
Joe's instantly
I'm
like,
drinking
what
some-
bottled water are you drinking, Joe?
I'm drinking some Peroni. It's Italian. I feel real fancy.
He is Italian. Are you partly Italian?
No, I wish.
He looks kind of Italian.
I
I can see him
no.
on a gondola being like, oh,
I have I have family in Italy, but I don't think I'm actually Italian. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
I think they moved there from like Austria or something.
Immigrants.
Italy's
stealing Italian gondola jobs.
yeah. Those gondolas were just like Venice as a whole, such an amazing city. Like I've never been there, but just the whole idea of like a city on the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That would be crazy. They apparently they flood like something like 250 days a year, like somewhere around there. Like most of the time.
Man,
they
that's
flood.
more. That's most days.
What
Yeah,
are
no,
those?
literally they like most days they're below water level.
That's
This
insane.
is a ridiculous question, but what are those? Gondolas? Is that the
The
name
weird
of the boat?
boats
Yeah,
and the
boats?
guy.
Yeah.
It's like a water
Did you
taxi.
see that video of the older people playing Assassin's Creed just so they can ride the gondola through Venice?
Really? Is
Are they
that-
like doing co-op and like this is so romantic?
It's this
and
old
they're just sitting
couple,
on-
and they're just sitting there around this.
I have a friend who
computer or
used to do
whatever.
that with Grand Theft Auto. He would like play Grand Theft Auto and he would hop in like a car and he would drive the speed limit and just like drive around and like observe.
Everybody's
Oh,
done
who
that. I've
hasn't
done
done
that.
it?
I've done
I've
that.
done
You
that.
stop
I
at
thought that was like a
stoplights.
weird thing.
Legal.
You get a nice, yeah.
Be a
You
little
get
legal for once.
You get a nice car and you're like, okay, if I dent this, like.
Yeah.
When you
my
get a
life
red
is
light,
over.
just shoot a pedestrian.
Yo, not a common belief, I don't think. But honestly, like why do people care if their cars are scratched and stuff like that? It's like, why is it such a big deal?
Do you mean in real life?
Yeah, in real life, it's like.
No, because when you own a car, man, that's what the
In
only.
GTA, my mechanic takes care of that.
Yeah, you call it.
No, I completely accept that it's like a shitty thing when your car gets scratched, but I feel like if we all just accepted that it happens, like, because it doesn't affect the performance of the car at all, and like, why do you care, right? I don't know, it's a stupid thing to say, but it's just like, I feel like driving would be a lot less stressful for people if it wasn't such a massive deal.
So would you care if you cracked your iPhone screen right now?
See, but that affects the performance of
Yeah,
it.
that affects.
Okay, so let's say, would you care if you had a huge scratch on the back of your iPhone? You
I
probably
would care, but if no one cared, then would I still care? I don't know.
And
It's weird.
what if that iPhone cost you $20,000? Would you care?
That is a definitely.
See what
I
I'm
don't know.
24 karat gold iPhone. They exist.
When
They
you
do.
own something that's worth that much money, like you just have a lot of pride in it, and like one tiny little thing.
Yeah,
like, fuck.
I don't know. Like I completely accept and I think it's normal that people care about it so much, but I just always think about like how nice it would be if just no one cared.
He's a
what you
very
mean.
deep thinker.
We shouldn't care, but everybody cares about stupid things.
I don't know. Specifically just about like car scratches because it's like driving stresses so many people out. Like I get really bad like driving anxiety. So it's like if I just didn't have to worry about that shit. It's like who cares, man? Like I scratched your car. Sorry. Here's
Yeah,
$20.
but that's taking out like just like our urge for perfection.
Yeah,
It's
people
something
are
that we're
crazy
just
about
raised
that.
with.
Everybody,
It's
everybody
not-
has that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
For sure.
I hate like when you're playing with something, you know, like a toy, whatever you've got, like your phone, and you get like a little scratch in it, and you're like, fuck, like that's permanent. I've got to deal with that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That always feels shitty, right?
Yeah.
And you get a tiny little scratch in your car, and you're like, yeah, there's $750.
You see, that's the thing that bugs me so much is how expensive it is when it shouldn't be, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about like car repairs or like car production or anything.
You were talking about buying a car, and I feel like when you buy a car, like you'll realize that it's like you care more than you think you would.
Yeah, see, it's funny. I was talking about like, oh, no one should care, but I don't even have a car. Like, I'm looking to buy one now. But, you know, I feel like an asshole for that.
I care. I cared a lot about my car for a long time. I mean, I don't really now, but like I was all like, oh, tuner car, like everything has to be perfect all the time, like show car type shit. Like I cared for a long time, and it's you do care.
Cars are a weird thing because
have a nice car, man.
You do have a nice car.
I like my car.
It's weird, like how many people are like passionate about cars though, when it's like.
It's not weird, man. Because
They're tools.
before I bought my car, I didn't give a fuck about cars. I didn't care how they work. I don't even know like a motor. Like I don't know how any of these things work. But when you get your own car, you're like, well, this could be better, so I'm gonna go and spend money and make it better. And like, it's just like a matter of pride in a way. Like I never cared about cars until I bought my car.
Integrity.
Definitely.
It's just like you want to, not even being competitive. You just want to make things like as good as they could be.
Yeah.
Well, cars are also a money pit.
Yeah.
As soon
They're
as
the
something-
worst investment
Yeah, it's just
ever.
as soon as something goes wrong, you just stress is just overcomes you.
Unless you
Like,
buy
so-
like a super rare Ferrari, like cars are the worst.
You're
investment.
consistently losing money on
Yeah,
it.
it's the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yeah.
So you were telling me something about Pepsi. What's that
Oh my
about?
god.
Okay. Yeah. So I read an article the other day.
This just shows me that Pepsi takes the cake. Coca-Cola can get it.
Really? Are you a Pepsi guy?
I'm a Pepsi guy. I don't drink much pop
Fuck
at all,
that,
but
man.
when
I'm
I
a
do,
Coke
it's
guy.
definitely Pepsi.
I'm pretty sure I promised myself, I was like, if we're doing a podcast, we're never going to have the whole Pepsi Coke thing.
You actually made a conscious decision
Yeah.
not to have this.
We're
argument.
here now, so where are you, Joe?
I'm a Coke guy, but
guy.
I'm going to say I'm an outlier. Personally, I prefer Coke Zero. I just find
Wow,
I
Coke
find it
Zero is
tastes better.
disgusting.
I don't know.
Zero is disgusting. With
I
any
find it
brand.
tastes better. I don't do it for any health reasons like whatsoever. It's just I find Coke Zero tastes better. I don't drink a lot of pop though. Like I'm trying to cut back, but I just do find that Coke Zero tastes better than normal Coke. Plus, I find the can looks nicer.
First of all, you're gross.
Yeah.
Second of all, yeah. Okay, so back to Pepsi.
Yeah, fuck Coke. Back to Pepsi.
So I guess around the time of the like the fall of the Soviet Union, I guess Pepsi, like they were all about Pepsi in Russia.
When did the Soviet Union fall?
90.
90?
Yeah.
1990?
It was 90 or 91 when the actual Soviet
you always
Union
think that
Just
it's
to
gonna
paint a picture.
Yeah, you always think
Yeah.
it's gonna be earlier though, right?
right around
Yeah,
the
you
time
would.
right around the time I was born. It was
Okay.
90 or 91, right around there.
Matt outing his age to everyone here.
So
So
old.
Nirvana's in its bloom.
Yep.
At
Yeah,
this
right
point.
around. Yeah.
Ricky Martin is just trying on his first fishnet tank top.
Yeah, so okay, apparently so right before the Soviet Union was about to fall and they were kind of running out of money, they were all about Pepsi and they had Pepsi factories all over the country.
I believe it, man.
They were obsessed with Pepsi. So basically in order to keep buying Pepsi, the Soviet Union was like, okay, well, we only have this amount of money. We want to budget. We don't want to spend billions of dollars on Pepsi. Like, let's come to a deal. So basically, they gave. So this was a deal. Pepsi gave the Soviet Union a $3 billion deal, and they gave them a really big Russian vodka company, and they also gave them a ship fleet consisting of 10 commercial ships.
So this was given to Pepsi?
Pepsi. Yeah, the Russian government, the Soviet Union, gave Pepsi this deal. Instead of paying cash for all this Pepsi produced out of all these factories, they were like, okay, we'll give. It was like a deal in kind.
Right.
So they gave them this deal was worth $3 billion. So they gave them a big vodka factory, and they gave them a ship fleet consisting of 10 commercial ships, 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer.
Holy shit.
At one point in time, Pepsi was the 6th largest military power in the world.
That's nuts.
Although Pepsi, they weren't like hiring their own army. Like, okay, we're Pepsi country now. They're just like they sold it for scrap. That was the whole point of the
Think
deal.
about how insane it would have been if they
Where does
invaded
Canada
someone.
fall?
In terms of militaries,
Not that great, I don't think.
pretty far down the list. I feel.
Really?
I mean, United States dominates everybody.
Yeah.
Russia is a close second.
Yeah.
I remember reading somewhere that
China is
if-
like third. North Korea is up there too, which is
North
fucking
Korea's big.
terrifying.
Yeah, to North Korea.
I remember reading somewhere once that if every cop in New York was like the New York Army, because there's an insane amount of cops in New York, like it's actually insanity. Then New York, as like its own country, would still have like in the top 10 biggest militaries in the world.
That's
believe it.
wild.
NYPD, they're huge, man.
Yeah.
They fucking,
But
true.
not only that, they're hard bastards, man. NYPD, they probably see some real shit.
Definitely.
Man, what would have happened if Pepsi had invaded somewhere? Because it's like there are so many countries that Pepsi could have just overpowered and taken and been like, this is Pepsi
The
land
Sovereign
now.
Union of Pepsi declares war on
The
Kazakhstan.
flag would just be the Pepsi logo.
I don't even know what other governments would do. Like the United States and Canada would be like, do we want to fucking like invade Pepsi now?
Are you guys
Everybody's
aware
gonna-
of why they changed their logo?
What was the original?
You don't remember the original like straight.
It's like the blue and red with like a line in between.
Well, you
like
know
that
how
weird
they
bouncy
changed
ball.
it now. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a little bit more sleek.
Wavy,
curvy.
Yeah.
like a sick fade.
Yeah. Like a sick
A
fade.
sick fade.
Like Drake's hairline.
Yeah.
It's almost as clean as Drake's hairline. So why did they change it? I'm confused.
CM Punk, the wrestler, got
It all comes back to CM Punk.
CM
every
Punk, the
time.
wrestler, had the original, and I'm not a big wrestler fan, but I know this, had the original Pepsi logo tattooed on his arm. He threatened to sue Pepsi for their logo because they didn't have it copyrighted yet.
And he had it on his arm, so he was
And
like,
he
my
had it on his
tattoo
arm.
is
This is my
copyrighted.
logo.
That's
So
fucked.
he threatened to sue them for it, so they changed it.
So
That's why they changed
just to
it.
clarify, the Pepsi logo already existed, and then he got it
Yep,
tattooed,
and then he got it.
and then he was just like, "You don't have this copyright; it's mine now."
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know if it was copyright or trademark. I don't know the difference between all that shit, but it was something
Like
like
if
that.
the trademarked would be.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
That is
But
so weird.
That is really weird.
A random wrestler does not have Pepsi lawyers. They don't have.
This
that
is
kind
not
of
a random
help.
wrestler. This is the CM Punk.
Yeah, but this is the.
Yeah, he
Pepsi.
wants to like
Yeah.
he wants to like Ultimate Fighter. Who does he want to? He wants to fight somebody.
I don't know. Do you?
I'm not
follow
sure.
I haven't followed WWE and since I was.
No,
like
this is
10.
UFC. He wants to fight an MMA wrestler.
No,
MMA
but I mean,
fighter.
he's like a WWE.
But CM
Yeah,
Punk,
yeah,
but
he
CM Punk
is.
is like an actor. Like I'm
Yeah.
not hating on wrestling. I think wrestling is very cool. Like it's just like a stunt show to me.
It's
pretty much.
athletically talented,
Yeah.
but it's fucking stupid.
Okay, well it's like I respect it in the same way that I respect like a play. Just
Yeah.
like a really bad play.
There's a bunch of steroid monkeys that are doing a really great.
They're not
play.
all on steroids. The Rock wasn't.
The Rock.
You
The
think?
Rock.
The Rock's fucking huge. The
don't
Rock
know, man.
must. That's not natural. I don't care how many weights he lifted. That the Rock
I don't
is-
know, man. When you're rich enough to afford the program, you can get as big as you want.
He works out for like 6 hours a day, I think.
I believe it.
I don't even care, man. You know how hard it'd be to fucking become that big.
Yeah, 6 hours a day. That sounds
About
right.
6 hours a day, I'd say.
There's natural bodybuilders that have worked out their whole lives that don't look a fraction.
It's
of-
true.
Have you seen The
Yeah,
Rock
he
now?
is huge.
The
Yeah,
Rock
yeah.
now.
Have you
He's
seen
like,
Pain and Gain?
Yeah.
no.
It's like turn sideways, walk through a door. Like
Have you seen
he's
Fast
huge.
and Furious?
Oh yeah. When he picks up that guy and like he just like lifts him up with one hand
Yeah.
and throws him into the fucking
Just like
ceiling.
a weird little fact about Fast and Furious. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, they were like best friends, like before Paul Walker died. They were like very, very good friends. Did you know that they were both like addicted to World of Warcraft and played like all the time with each other?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, and I looked up in their videos on YouTube of just them playing World of Warcraft together. It's hilarious because it's just like they're in the chat. They're like, "Lol, like look at this," and it's like, it's like, "Look at this, Vin Diesel." Like, "Oh, what is it, Paul Walker?" Like,
Everybody was like, yeah, you're Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. I believe you, but they were.
Yeah.
And like I guess Vin Diesel's actually really into all that like nerdy stuff. He still plays Dungeons and Dragons like consistently with like home friends.
I don't doubt that at all.
Which is hilarious because he's this like big muscly like movie star, and I think about those people who get so rich that they just do anything to pass the time because they're so bored, and a lot of them must get into stuff like that. I know Mila Kunis.
Second lives, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
It's getting away from that like hectic.
Mila Kunis, I don't know how it's pronounced. She was addicted to World of Warcraft as well, which is like hilarious because she's also super hot.
Well, I mean,
it's
look
just
at
a way. You're right though. It's a way to get away.
Yeah, some of the movies they're in, like Riddick, is extremely sci-fi.
Oh, definitely. Riddick is like a complete like sci-fi classic at this point.
Yeah, man. Pitch Black, great movie.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
The newest Riddick was pretty much Pitch Black remade. It was really weird.
That's what they were trying to do.
Exact same storyline.
The ending. I don't want to get into like specifics.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Let's not do spoiler alerts here.
I feel like most actors are probably into some pretty fantasy.
I feel like to be a celebrity, like we can sit here and be like, oh yeah, why don't you whine about your fucking $30 million you made last year and fucking everybody loves you, but I feel like to be a celebrity there's a lot more ramifications than we realize.
Yeah.
It would ruin your life. I don't doubt that for a second. Yeah. Like to not be able to just go out and get a sub at Subway or fucking go to the corner store and buy whatever. Like it turns up in a magazine. Like
yeah.
Some people love it though. Like some people live for that, and
I feel like people start off loving it, and then they realize how fucked up it makes everything, and how stressful everything becomes, and no one.
Some people really they live for it, and they try to get as much of that attention as they can. Like you look at people like Lindsay Lohan and like Britney Spears, and it's like they do all this crazy stuff to get attention, right? Well, I guess like they were actually legit like addicted to drugs and crazy. But there are people who have just like done insane things to get that media attention that they crave.
Well, some people like
Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
I know Miley Cyrus is the top contender.
Well, yes. I hate Miley Cyrus. She's a shitty person. But some people thrive off of that kind of fame. Like some people without that fame,
it's the same thing as like high school drama shit that like people live off of it, right? It's like they want to be involved in all this drama.
Yeah, but not even that. I mean, for a lot of people, like especially famous people, like the worst thing that could happen to these people in their minds is like falling off the radar, and that's what happens to so many people. Think of all the stars that you've seen that you never hear about anymore.
Jason Biggs,
Dustin Diamond,
fucking Screech, just random people you don't hear about anymore. Like to a lot of people, the only thing that they know in their life is being famous and being in the spotlight, and if that ends, they don't have anything. Think of Kim Kardashian. She's made a career out of people talking about her dumb shit. She fucking dyes her hair blonde, and that gets more coverage than fucking ISIS. Like, it's so stupid. Like, you have
I mean, Jared Leto just bleached his hair, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Song with that.
He looks amazing. What a bitch.
Yeah.
Did Kim Kardashian dye her hair blonde?
She bleached it, yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
I bet it looked incredible.
I only know because my girlfriend like tags me and all.
There were a couple pretty like ugly pictures. I feel like that was the idea, though.
I can't fucking imagine her and Kanye West's like conversations.
Oh my god, I think about that a lot, man.
It's like, hi Kanye West, like I'm Kim Kardashian. Like, what do you want to talk about? Like, what the fuck?
They're both just such like egomaniacs, though. That's the thing. Like, they're both all about appearances, the way they dress, and everything else. That's
I feel like
they makes sense.
They've probably never even like had a conversation. It was probably done by their lawyers to make everybody fucking money. Like, they probably like artificially inseminated Kim Kardashian, Kanye's baby. They never even like met each other.
Kanye West has been on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I don't watch the show. I just know that he's been on it, and like, I've got to check out those episodes sometimes because I'm so curious about how he and her like interact.
He's like, oh my god, and then Kim Kardashian's like, no, but I dyed my hair blonde. Like, I fucking hate those people.
That was a perfect impression.
My sister actually loves that shit. She watches that.
Some people are into it. I don't hate.
She's seen like every season. Kim and Chloe do New York, all that shit. It's honestly, I sat down and watched it. It's kind of entertaining. I won't lie. Like, honestly,
I can imagine.
I've seen part of the episode where Kanye and Kim get married in Paris.
Is it good? Nice episode.
I mean, it's Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's whatever it is, but you do see them kind of interact a little bit. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's fake.
It's not fake. Nothing in reality TV is like super fake, but I feel like a lot of it is just like,
I don't know if I agree.
It's all set the same way. I mean, reality TV is fake, but I'm sure there's producers that are like, okay, do that again, but do it more like this. Like
Yeah.
they're just telling them what.
Well, everything's got a grain of truth, whatever.
From what I hear, the people who know Kanye West on a personal basis say he's the sweetest guy they ever met.
Yeah,
I really
it's
believe.
weird.
Then why
I've
is
heard
he
that
such
too.
a shithead to everybody that doesn't know him? Like, name
It's a
me one
character,
person.
man. Everyone who raps, makes music,
Yeah.
it's a character.
Oh, you can see those
Yes,
interviews
you
with
think
him.
if you met Eminem today or anyone like that with this big like
He'd be a big
story
guy.
behind them,
He'd be a big
Eminem
guy.
would be like this like fucking dickhead who's just wired on drugs. No, that's
He'd
not
be
who
a good
Eminem
guy.
ever
He'd probably
was.
be a great guy.
Ever was. I don't think he ever was like that.
But no, you can see
But-
when Kanye does interviews and shit, you can see in his eyes that he believes every fucking thing he's saying. And when he says shit,
Could
no
just
one,
be a really good actor, man.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I'm
I think he's just a
50-50
good
on this.
producer / rapper, but I feel like you can tell with Kanye that he believes when he goes fucking I'm a god, like he believes that. You can tell it in his fucking eyes. He believes that.
Yeah.
He's a shitty dude. But he's also being egged on to be a shitty dude, for
Yeah.
sure.
It
Well,
all goes
people
back
love
to
it,
that
it
conversation we had about like Justin Bieber and how the media affects who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's kind of like just how I feel like morals and like the way people see you in general are really have a huge like the way you look at them and the way you describe
Yeah.
them.
On your own
Their
identity.
reputation has a lot to do with who they are.
Definitely.
And it's like the more we talk about somebody, even if it's just us, like there's billions of people in the world, but even if it's just us, just one thing we say impacts the way that he is.
yeah,
You know what I
definitely,
mean?
definitely.
With Justin Bieber, like we said, it was like the
I'm sure-
anyone who commented on that first video he posted had a partial piece to blame
Yeah.
for what he ended up being.
I'm sure that they read these things about themselves and it kind of forms their own identity just based
Yeah.
on what they. If most people are like, oh my god, Justin Bieber's amazing, they're gonna think that.
They
regardless
think
of
I'm an
what-
asshole who thinks I'm a god. I'll show them that.
Yeah.
That's what they want to see, obviously, because that's what they won't shut
Well,
up
we
about.
play the part that we're like given, right?
You're right. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all kind of propaganda in a way. Speaking of propaganda, this shit blew my mind. So, my girlfriend who lives in Russia sent me this video. Like, it
Matt's
doesn't even,
Russian girlfriend, constant recurring
it doesn't.
topic.
It doesn't even have.
Hiya!
Shout out.
It doesn't even have an English title, so I wouldn't even know how to search it.
I love you, girl.
But it's basically a propaganda video put out by North Korea.
And this was put out to Russia specifically, or
No. It was a
Okay.
North Korean. Somehow it ended up on YouTube. I don't know. They don't have computers and internet. But somehow it was like it was a North Korean propaganda video.
Right.
And yeah, this was how they communicate with their people. So it was a video about America. And basically in this video, they were saying like, yeah, they were showing like scenes from America, just random deserted streets and, trees and just anything.
Detroit.
Anything,
Detroit.
yeah, exactly. Anything desolate they could show, and they're basically saying how like Americans live off of like tea made of snow and North Korean rations, and they all live in tents. And they showed
That's fucked up.
they showed a
man.
scene of like a deserted street with trees on it, and they were like, yeah, notice how there's no birds in the trees because Americans survive off eating birds. And it was like,
I wonder if anyone believes that. Like, I wonder.
North Koreans do, I promise you.
Oh,
Do you think so?
definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Their brain,
do.
the only thing they know is what they're told from, like, they're taught this in schools.
Yeah.
Their media only has one channel. It tells them the same thing. Like, they're brainwashed to believe.
I think it's absolutely horrible that like we're allowing a place like that to exist. Like I hate war. I think war is the shittiest thing ever. But it's like, are we not justified at this point to like start pushing back?
What can we do?
I just think we need to put more pressure on them. Like, I'm not an expert. I can't say like exactly what we're doing. Like, I'm not even that like far into politics and stuff. But I just feel like the fact that we're allowing this to happen at all is like very, very messed up.
Yeah, but if we go in there, what's it going to solve? We're going to kill, like, millions of American lives. Like, North Korea is not a bitch. Like, North Korea has a
Yeah.
huge army, and
That's
they're
true.
ruled by a fucking crazy person.
That's true. They're willing to do anything. But like at this point, I'm seeing so many parallels between North Korea and Nazi Germany that it's like something's gonna happen.
Concentration camps, everything.
They have
It's-
straight
They
up
have concentration
They do,
camps.
they
They
do.
have labor camps that they just serve anybody who opposes like the official message of
Yeah.
the country. They send them there, and they send them to hard labor and shit. Like, that's a thing.
It's very messed up.
Yeah. And I mean, even if we killed Kim Jong Un, he's got brothers.
Yeah,
Quite a few.
One of Kim
I don't think he
Jong
has
Un's
brothers.
no, he
Yeah,
does.
he
One of
does.
Kim
He's
Jong
got
Un's
two.
brothers was taken out of the inheritance and like banished and is not allowed to like have any power because he snuck out of North Korea to go to Disney World.
That's amazing.
I mean, like
That's gold.
that guy wanted to go to Disney
He just
World
wanted to meet
so
Mickey,
badly.
man. He
Yeah,
just wanted to
exactly.
meet Mickey.
He saw the cartoons. He was like, I gotta meet Mickey. Yeah, I think it was Kim Jong Il who like banished him and everything, and like declared him a disgrace because the kid just really wanted to go to Disney World.
Well, apparently Kim Jong Un like went to school in Switzerland, but didn't say like he wasn't like, yeah, I'm the son of the North Korean like. Dictator.
I'm sure he was bullied.
But no.
He's a fat little kid. He was bullied.
Yeah. All the Swiss people were like, yeah, fuck you, you're fat. But he was like drawing. He was obsessed with like Michael Jordan and shit, and like he was like sitting in class drawing pictures of Michael Jordan, and that's why he's like obsessed with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
How funny! Like this is a cartoon, man.
That's
like,
such a
little
no.
fat
That's actually
Korean
such a
dude.
messed up relationship. Him and Dennis Rodman. It actually like freaks me
It
out.
makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's just like Dennis Rodman must be like the most corrupt guy ever to just be willing to like chill with him like that.
He's
no
not
fat
even like.
hate. No fat head.
No
Hate
fat-
BT.
no
No, just throwing out there. We're very into the whole body acceptance thing. We're just poking a little fun at Kim Jong Un because he's kind of a bitch.
Because he's ridiculous.
Oh fuck! What if he hears this?
He won't hear this.
It'll be like the interview. He'll hack our servers. He'll hack DaVinci. DaVinci will be shut down. He'll hack our servers, threaten us with nuclear annihilation.
He would, man.
It's over.
He would do that. He's the kind of guy. Yeah, no, it's just like it's weird to me that like that exists. Like this world, this entire place that's just ruled by like what's essentially an insane 12-year-old.
People are fucking crazy. Yeah,
He's, he's young too, man. He is young.
He's like 20. He's like mid-20s. Like he's crazy. as
He
fuck,
like
man.
he threw his uncle and 5 of his uncle's best mans.
Best
man.
men. I believe you were trying to say.
Yeah, I was
His,
coming out
his best man.
his best mans.
Anyway, what did he do?
Into a room with like 500 starving dogs, and the dogs just ate them.
I think that
alive.
was a super overblown story, but it might.
That's horrible.
Most likely, but either way.
It may or may not
Yeah,
have
if
been
something
true.
like that even occurred. If something like that even occurred, that's a
Yeah, he
appalling.
killed his own uncle, who was like the next top-ranking person below him, and he just like killed him and shit.
I've seen The Interview, man. I know a lot about Kim Jong Un.
The interview.
It was a great movie.
I
It was
liked
a great
it.
fucking movie.
I don't
It
know.
was.
All that action stuff near the end kind of petered off for me. It still like bombed, didn't it? Like it didn't make a profit because they couldn't.
Yeah,
show
it made a
theaters.
profit.
I
For
made a
what-
profit
for
just,
what it was.
just because of how controversial it was. It made a
I
profit.
thought they.
I think it made like 38 million first week online.
Jesus, I thought
Maybe.
it did
No,
bad.
that's probably exaggerated. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought it flopped just because they didn't have like a single ticket sale because they didn't show it in theaters. Or...
I mean, technically, theater-wise, it flopped definitely.
They did
and
show
it did
it
show
in
in
theaters.
quite a few theaters.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few
yeah,
just like independent theaters.
yeah,
but
yeah. You're definitely right on that one.
as far as online sales, it killed. It
Yeah,
murdered.
well,
Yeah.
it was like really popular. I don't know how much Netflix paid to have it on, but Netflix has got it right. So
Yeah, you're right. They definitely made the money. So as much as we love to ramble on,
our ramblings are coming to an end.
we got to end this now because we're on somebody else's timelines.
Some rambling men.
But again, thanks again for Neco for letting us use his song Clouds. Once again,
Love you, Neco.
fucking Nico's great, man.
He's a
We smoked a
great
joint
guy.
with him. He let us use his music. He's a great guy in my books.
A tobacco joint.
It was marijuana. Fuck you. Yeah, but once again, Neco, man, he's a great DJ / producer / whatever you call it in the music business. Very talented guy from Vienna. If you want to check him out, which you definitely should, because he has a lot more like amazing videos besides Clouds. It's soundcloud.com/NECO music. Very good guy. You should check him out. And once again, shout out to Vinny for setting this up.
Vinny.
At Vinicius on SoundCloud. Once again, I'll link it in this YouTube video because Vinicius.
He's an amazing producer. He's got us all covered. He's got all the stuff.
I was corrected. It's
Audio
engineer.
Audio engineer.
Oh, not producer. Audio
How
engineer.
dare you?
He's an amazing audio engineer.
Yes.
Shout out to him, and he's got his terms right.
He's a great audio engineer.
He's a
Shout
nice
out-
guy too. He's a sweetheart.
He's
Sweetheart.
a fucking sweetheart, man.
Fucking sweet. He held the door for me today.
I was 30 feet away.
And I was 30 feet away. Yeah, so shout out Vinny. And once again, shout out Da Vinci College. That's why we sound so great and we're super annoying in HD.
We're gonna have to go back to the old shitty sound most likely. So.
We're a little bit less annoying and a bit more fuzzy than the old
We're
stuff.
picking up new gear though. Hopefully, once we have all the sound and stuff figured out, we'll be able to go to video. We know you folks have been just waiting for that one.
Oh.
We've been saying it, but it's happening.
Don't you want to see us?
We have the gear, man. Okay, but anyways, once again, shout out Vinny, Da Vinci College, Neco, and his amazing song Clouds. We're out. This is Ramble's Corner Podcast, episode 3. Thank you for listening in. Once again, follow us Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Facebook,
whatever you want to do.
Rambler's
We don't want to bug you with it. But if you want to know when the next episode is live, if you want to interact with us, we'd love comments. We love any criticisms.
I'll straight up give you my phone number. We can just talk.
Yeah, you can text Joe. You can text Joe at 2 a.m. It's great. But yeah, once again, thank you for listening. Follow us, and we're out.